May the Lord be with you. Thank you all for coming today to celebrate the life of my father. Aside from being a father to me, he was also a brother, an uncle, a friend, a husband, a pitmaster, and a volunteer. When I was preparing this eulogy, I was left underwhelmed at the English language for lacking the depth needed to describe my admiration for such a great man. And so, I hope this eulogy helps define what simple words cannot. When we are children, our parents give us a subtle security that lets us live life more freely. We know that no matter what, we have them to keep us safe, to help us when we need it, and to comfort us when we are scared. They tell us everything is going to be all right, and we know it to be true. When I was a child, my dad was my hero, and in my adolescence, he was my mentor. As I grew older, he became my friend. He taught me many lessons I still live by today, lessons about honesty, integrity, character, and perseverance. The lesson that stood above all, however, was about facing challenges. He would often tell me that the right thing to do is often the hardest, and challenges are opportunities to grow. I've had to do a lot of growing in these last 5 months, and he gave me the lessons and tools to be the man standing before you now. I only know the love I had for my father as a son, and I have no experiencing loving a child as a parent. In an effort to learn more, I looked to the story of Joseph and Mary. God chose and trusted them to raise his only son, to love him as their own, to provide a loving home for him, to help make him the man he was meant to be. To be chosen for such an honor tells me that they were wonderful people who, in the face of a great challenge, had to grow. For those of you who may not know, I was adopted at birth. I was born to a young 16-year-old single mother who made the difficult decision to continue with the pregnancy. Then, if that wasn't scary enough, she decided to entrust me to a loving family who could give me the life she wanted for me. She trusted my parents in the same way God trusted Joseph and Mary. My parents made a choice to raise me as their own so that I could take on the Maddox name. A couple of years ago, I asked my dad if he had any apprehension about adopting me. He told me he was nervous about being a father and a little anxious about his ability to raise someone else's son on his own. He then told me that he talked to a friend who also had adopted and learned a valuable lesson. His friend told him, as soon as he is in your arms, nothing else matters. He is yours, and you are his. I was blessed with the best parents I could ever ask for. When I was young, Dad and I would watch Fear Factor and wrestle. It didn't occur to me until I was playing sports that I realized that my dad was older than the rest. One of my teammates asked which dad was mine. I pointed. My teammate said, "I said your dad, not your granddad." From then on, I knew that I might not have him around forever. As the years went by, I slowly prepared for this exact moment. When I graduated from UT, my dad and I lived together for a while. We would watch NCIS, The Crown, The Blacklist together every Thursday night. We shared meals and took care of each other. When my career was taking off, I ended up buying a house, and he got his apartment. We would still have lunch every Sunday and talk about the small things like we used to. He never wanted me to worry about him. When asked about his health, he would be vague and shrug it off. Naturally, this made me worry even more. In the last 5 months, his health declined significantly. I or my aunt and uncle would take him to doctor's appointments, visit him in the hospital, and bring him some barbecue. Between hospitalizations, I would ask him about a favorite memory he had of me. His favorite was when I was real young. He had just finished making breakfast and came to wake me up. I shot up straight, bushy-tailed and bright-eyed, and yelled, "I smell bacon." It occurred to me then that my memory is my whole life, but to him, my first steps were just yesterday. I would encourage children and parents alike to ask the simple question, what is one of your favorite memories of me? He never once complained. He was always positive and smiling. When he had to have a breathing tube put in to help with his treatment, he lost his ability to speak. But he always found a way to tell me everything is going to be okay. He would squeeze my hand, look at me in the eyes, and wink. I will always cherish that memory for the rest of my life. Earlier this week, when I was going through his apartment, I found every single birthday and Father's Day card I had ever written, every picture ever taken. I found a prayer hanging on his wall called A Father's Prayer by Douglas MacArthur. It reads, "Build me a son, O Lord, who will be strong enough to know when he is weak and brave enough to face himself when he is afraid. One who will be proud and unbending in honest defeat and humble and gentle in victory. Build me a son whose wishbone will not be where his backbone should be, a son who will know thee, and that to know himself is the foundation stone of knowledge. Lead him, I pray, not in the path of ease and comfort, but under the stress and spur of difficulties and challenge. Here, let him learn to stand up in the storm. Here, let him learn compassion for those who fail. Build me a son whose heart will be clear, whose goal will be high, a son who will master himself before he seeks to master other men, one who will learn to laugh yet never forget how to weep, one who will reach into the future yet never forget the past. And after all these things are his, add, I pray, enough of a sense of humor so that he may always be serious yet never take himself too seriously. Give him humility so that he may always remember the simplicity of true greatness, the open mind of true wisdom, the meekness of true strength. Then I, his father, will dare to whisper, I have not lived in vain." I also found an old newspaper clipping of a poem, likely as a memento that helped him grieve the loss of his parents. "Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am the thousand winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn's rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not here, or I'm not there. I did not die." And lastly, I found a short note on an old work notepad. "My son, you are the little boy I always dreamed of, and a friend for always. My son for a lifetime. I am so proud of you. Even though he no longer walks among us, he walks with us in our hearts. He will continue to teach me lessons, and one day, if I am blessed with a child of my own, I will truly know the depth of love a father has for his child. I know I made my father proud, and I am proud to be his son.